Town Council meeting to order for May 12th, 2025. If you would, just for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everybody.
Armstrong?
Present.
Karen Poland?
Present.
Pedrick?
Present.
Ken Poland?
Present.
Treon?
Present. All present accounted for. Now review the purchase orders for approval.
Okay. So Superintendent Gossett will go into further detail for these. First, we have 3476. It is to Tractor Supply for a pull-behind weed sprayer in the amount of $957.48. And we also have an estimate from Big John's, the porta pot. These are for the park for the July 3rd festivities. They normally order 5 of the regular standard units and 1 handicap. Total for those is $600. Purchase order number 3477.
Do we have a motion for the purchase orders?
Yeah, a motion, go ahead to do this weed sprayer, 3476 for the amount of $957.48. I'll go ahead and do Big John's purchase order 3477 for $600 even. And for how many again?
6 total.
6 total. Thanks.
A second.
All right, we got a motion made by Angie, seconded by Karen. Approved purchase orders 3476 and 347 as presented by the clerk treasurer. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
All right, review the claims and order warrants drawn on the same.
A motion, we accept the claims and orders warrants drawn on the same.
A second it.
All right, motion made by Karen and seconded by Angie to order the warrants drawn the same for the claims. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay. Minutes from last meeting.
Make a motion to approve the minutes as presented for the regular meeting dated April 28th, 25.
I'll second.
All right, motion made by Steve, seconded by Ken to approve the meeting minutes from April 28th, 2025. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay. We're going to do things a little different tonight. We're going to jump down, do the reports from committees, boards, and commissions. So I'll start off with the president's part. Just a couple things I want to talk about. Had a meeting, when was that? A couple days ago over in Gas City. It was Bill Rock invited us over, the mayor of Gas City. The mayor of Jonesboro was there. Town council people from Sweetser and Swayze. So there was 5 of us all together. And if you guys know Bill Rock's one to push the envelope on things and try new things. So he's come up with this idea that the 5 of us are going to go together and we're going to approach Eli Lilly on a $30 million grant. We did. It opens July 1st. This was just a preliminary, kind of getting our feet in the water, everybody talking about what they want to do and their ideas. So from the town's point, we had a text message. We got sent out just to get some ideas. We talked about some street improvements, some paving, community building, fire station, water office, finishing Main Street projects. We've got the north end, uptown, and we need to go south. So that would complete that complete project, which is good for Lilly because they love to come in and complete projects that we started that we can't afford for a while. So they love doing that. Another thing about this grant is you can use that money to match another grant. So like if we got a Okra grant for $750,000, that our match is $85,000. I don't understand Okra math because that's not 10%. But anyway, we can use that money to match another grant, which is amazing because you never hear of that in grants. So that's just basically, that was the nuts and bolts of it. So he has, I can't remember that guy's name for Gas City. He's very knowledgeable. He's open to talk to us anytime about different stuff. He's from Randall Miller and Associates, Jason Miller. Very knowledgeable on grants, very knowledgeable on the way they work, what will fly and won't fly. I think, do we have a packet on that in their stuff tonight?
They've been emailed.
Okay, so that was emailed to you.
They'll-
So just take a look through that. Where it says community stuff on the grant, that is very broad. It is wide open on what you can do with that money in that section. But there's education on there. There's all kinds of different things. But Lily's been very good in the past about giving to people. Get on their site, look at what they've awarded. If there's something on there that we need to add to that list, we just need to get that to him before July 1st.
Okay.
So stay tuned for that. There will be another meeting in the future, and then you're all are welcome to attend. So anybody wants to come can do that. Second thing I want to talk about, ordinances. I see on Facebook all the time, ordinance, pass an ordinance. Sometimes that's an answer, sometimes it's not, because that doesn't always solve the problem. If we pass an ordinance tonight that says a Fairmount resident can't have a blue house in Fairmount, that's from today on. That doesn't go back. People are grandfathered in up till May 12th, 2025. So that's how they work. They're good. Grants, but ordinances are great things. We have a lot of them on the books. Another thing, talked about grants briefly there with Lily. Grants are great, and we rely heavily on them. We're relying on right now doing a sewer project with Bud and his crew. The thing with those is, you hear it's only 10%. Like I used Oprah there for example. Their $750,000 community building grant. Their 10% of that is $85,000. My math is $75,000, but I don't understand Oprah math. And that seems good. I mean, you get $75,000 or spend $85,000 to get $750. That's great. But let's look at the soft cost. People don't realize that our Main Street North, what, 200,000?
Yes.
So the town was out 208. I shouldn't say out, but we paid out $285,000, if not roughly that is what we paid out. So grants are great. We're always looking for them. We're always open to do them if we can afford to do them. And we can't have too many of those going on, or we're not going to keep the lights on. That's the bottom line. And I was recently asked what my vision was for Fairmount by a couple of Main Street. Andrew Held asked me a while back about it, and him and I talk quite regularly, and we share kind of the same visions and stuff. And my vision is for Fairmount to boom. I mean, I want to see Fairmount prosper. I'd love to see us build, expand, have businesses come in. But I'm going to be honest with you. Right now, I want to maintain. I want to keep our employees employed. I want to keep them in nice equipment. I want to keep them insured. And I want to keep your water flowing, keep your taxes low. And when these opportunities, going back to the grants, come, we'll jump on them. We'll do everything we can to improve this town. And so that's my vision. I would love to see this town. I'd love to see every business up on Main Street full. I really would. Do I think it's going to happen? I don't know. My opinion is just that, my opinion. So that's my high horse for tonight. I just want to get that out there. Anybody have anything else they want to add or questions?
I think one thing that a lot of people don't realize is that we all do share a very strong vision for Fairmount. And in order for Fairmount to grow, like everybody wants it to grow, in order to do that, you got to have something inviting that people want. It was thrown out there not very long ago by a couple of people kept saying, hey, let's put in, a hometown Walmart. Looks like a little grocery store. That's great and all, but they cater to a population that is usually around 10,000 to do those. They want to see that there's successful entities that goes on. They want to make sure that their businesses are going to be there. They want to make sure that everything that they're looking for is going to go the way they want it to. Many, many years ago, if everybody recalls, there was talk of bringing in Huck's gas station. That Huck's gas station was turned down just due to relevancy of, by the board members at that time that felt that it was irrelevant and to bring it into Fairmount and damage the small town atmosphere. We are a small town. We all look out for each other and we all look out for what's best for our children, and that's how it has to work. And in order for Fairmount to grow and prosper and be that little town of the future, we have to make it appealing. We have to make it inviting. And we're going to do on this board whatever it takes to make it appealing and inviting, as long as it's financially responsible. I think that when we were elected by the taxpayers wanted so much. And we want to give them so much. But we are only a board of 5. We also are working with one of the smallest budgets that is out there in this county. So if you look at the examples of Swayze and Sweetser and Van Buren and Upland, we're doing really well.
Mhm.
And I think one thing that we have that a lot of towns don't have is we have community. And that's what Fairmount is community. I've been here 43 years, and I love walking down the street and seeing people wave and people smile, and they walk out of the banks or they walk out of the utility office and they still smile and wave because they recognize this is Fairmount. That's community. We are a James Dean area, and James Dean, God rest his soul, has been very grateful to allow us to prosper. And we as a town will continue to prosper, and we will continue to thrive, and we will continue to do what is best for our citizens. Because personally, I can't bestow how grateful I am to the citizens of Fairmount to keep me in this seat for 10 years. And with that being said, the hardest thing that I've had to do is over this week is to make up my mind and know that December 31st, 2026 will be my last day on this board. Not that I want to leave, not that I feel I have a choice to leave, but it's time, and I recognize that it's time. So to the citizens of Fairmount, personally, and to my board members, thank you. You guys have been great to me.
Yeah, we got another year. Enough of that slobby stuff. Okay,
Okay,
knock it
Keep
off.
us
Jeez,
strong.
I didn't even bring a Kleenex.
Suck it up.
But,
Suck
too,
it
but
up.
too, we all, this is our community. We want it to be the best
Oh, well.
and look the best. So I can promise you that we want to see it grow and look the best it can be. Absolutely.
And-
I think most of us grew up here.
Right. And then I find it that we wouldn't be here we wouldn't have a name. If it wasn't for James Dean, we
Mhm.
wouldn't be here for that. And then we wouldn't have what we have for the people that's been on the board in the past. We wouldn't, this dedication, commitment, time. Most of us work full-time jobs, and we come in here and we work another 25 hours per week. People don't know what we go through the week or the weekend, especially at the open house, the opening day, Saturday. I had to write down things on my phone and type it in because people were coming up to me. So it's dedication, commitment to where we're at now.
Thank you, everybody. All right. Streets and parks. See if you can follow that up, Mr. Gossett.
Try not to cry.
Yeah, no, clean.
There's no crying in council meetings.
Ryan Gossett, Fairmount Street Parks. Our Gov Deals account set up, just waiting on a rain day to get stuff uploaded and get on our website. The Service Learning Day is coming up this Thursday with a rain day of Friday. So if anybody got on the list of stuff to be picked up, needs to be out there Thursday morning. So just be cautious with the kids roaming around town. They might not look both ways. What we're having them do, we're putting in mulch at the playground on our side. We're getting that from Ziegers again, amount of $3,143.20. And then we're also be putting fresh mulch up at the James Dean Memorial. Don't hold me to this amount, but it should be $336. It's 8 cubic yard up there. And we'll be getting that from Key and Son and Ellick.
Great.
Frontier's got their fiber stages somewhat ran. They got 2 hubs open up. They had me ask Morgan to put it up on Facebook, a highlighted map. So if you live in that highlighted area, you can hop on. Probably has really pretty good internet. And lastly, for street, we did ordinance violation on lawns. We sent out 21 letters this last week. I'll be mowing probably Friday.
This Friday.
They should have received them either Friday or Monday this week. And then down at the park, we had an issue opening up the bathrooms there on the south side. Had water issue. We were hoping it was just we weren't getting enough water pressure coming out of our main. Bud and his crew added a 4th tap for us. So it's got 4 taps off the main. Still really didn't have enough pressure. So we ended up putting a pressure tank on there. That seemed to help quite a bit. I don't know if it's enough to get us through like a festival, but it's enough for baseball. As long as they're not all going at once, it sustains. So later date, future, we'll probably be looking at putting in a bigger main down there going to it. Right now it's only 1 3/4 inch. And we got 4 taps of 3/4 going to feed that. So, and then the 2 purchase orders you approved, that was the end of the part for me. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ryan. Appreciate it. Chief Dollar?
Good evening.
Hello.
A few things here. Start out, we finished our Evo this past week. I think there's some video on Facebook of kind of what we went through, and one of the guys posted that. Pretty cool. So I got us all done with that for the year. Appreciate Joe. He's our instructor, so he spent the week out there taking care of us, and then the rest of the county, they all work together, so it's a good deal. Got the Tesla. I'm sure you guys seen it when you walked in on the roadway. I'll be hanging out afterwards, after the meeting. If you guys want to check it out, if any of the community would like to check it out, you guys are more welcome to come out and look at it. We'll answer some questions for you, and we can take some of you guys for a ride if you want to go for a ride. And then I have Trevor Brain. I'm going to be sent to the Midwest Counter Drug Training Center for Advanced Vehicle Contraband Concealment. That is Monday, May 19th to Tuesday, May 20th at IMPD. It's free. There's no cost to this training. It's part of the federal government, and they're grant fed. So we've all went to it. I've went to several of them. They're really good trainings. I don't know if we need a motion for that since it's free,
yeah.
but it'll be going. And then on that, I think we have the K9. We've started kind of working on something, came up. I'd spoke with Eric about it. I think he was going to send you guys a message. I've got Trevor here. He can kind of fill you guys in exactly what it is. He's the one that's been working on it exclusively. Pretty much it's completely free. We will have some small costs, but I'll leave it at that and let you come on up, Trevor.
The Canine program is through Redemption Ranch Canine. What they do is it's a Plainfield canine officer who has started up a nonprofit organization that receives donations, and they sell like T-shirts and some other like knickknacks like stickers and stuff to be able to help fund their organization. And what they do is they take shelter dogs that have the drive and determination to be able to be a canine dog and to be able to work effectively in their role. And they take them and they donate them to police departments that normally are struggling to afford canines, and or that would have a smaller budget that would not normally sustain the initial upfront cost of a canine program. I've spoken with the owner extensively, and he's already had a few people sign up for it, and they donate the canine, the training, and the initial upfront costs such as collars, harnesses, dog food for a certain amount of months, mainly during training. The initial vet bills are all taken care of by him and his organization, and all it is they take the canines from a shelter. The one that he is looking at for us is from Hamilton County, and he's currently in the Hamilton County Humane Society. My apologies, and they have specifically already trained with him to see if he's going to be a good fit for a canine, and they've determined that he is. The initial, like Chief Dollar said, is the initial costs are very limited. The only initial costs are vehicle equipment and just the money it would cost to pay somebody to go to training and to train for this program. If you guys have any questions, I'm free to answer.
What kind of dog is it, Trevor? You know?
Yeah.
This one is a German Shepherd mix with a like a husky type of dog is what it appears to be. He knows for sure it's a German Shepherd. I just don't have the answer on the other part. He wasn't sure of that one.
And this is a single purpose dog, correct? It's drugs?
Drugs, article, and he said there may be tracking as well.
Okay.
So drugs and article for sure.
But no handler protection?
No
handler.
apprehension. No.
When do we need to make a decision by, or?
So he would like a decision, preferably by the end of tonight, but if need to, by the end of the week. The dog is on hold with him for now, but as soon as we have an answer, he like you said, he would try to get it tonight. That way he can get the stuff ordered and have it sent to my residence. He orders all the initial stuff and has it sent to my residence or wherever the department wishes to have it sent to. And that way we can get everything set up and get everything here. And then when the equipment comes in, we are able to go pick up the dog. He recommended picking it up beforehand to start bonding with it because it's been in a shelter for a while. That way we bond with it. And he said that way you can get it used to the atmosphere of coming to work and so on and so forth.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Trevor, Are
great.
you going to be the handler?
Yeah.
I would like to be, yes.
Oh, okay.
Well, good work finding this
Oh,
and
yeah.
seeking this guy out. I
This
mean,
is great.
so
I motion to go ahead and get the canine dog. I don't know. Does it
there's
have a
no
name?
cost or anything. I don't.
Does it have a name already?
His name right now is Sandman, but they wish to. They said you
Just
can probably
like the
change it.
Metallica song,
He'd recommend to
Doors.
change it. So
Huh?
that's the name that the Humane Society has given to him.
Okay. I didn't know
Yeah.
if you already had it.
No, that
previous
was the name
name.
the Humane Society.
Oh,
gave
okay.
to him.
All right. I'll go ahead and motion the canine
No.
and to have Trevor to be in charge of the canine.
Have a second.
I'll second that. It's a dog. I was hoping for a
I was just-
chihuahua. But
All right, motion made by Angie, seconded by
If you
Steve
weren't, I was
to
going to.
proceed forward with redemption ramps on getting the canine for Fairmount for free and the training for free.
Oh,
and
yeah.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Congratulations. Good work on
Thank you
finding
very
that, Trevor. I really
Thank you
appreciate it.
for the
Thank you.
hard
Thank
work.
you. That's
Thank you.
really
Appreciate
good homework.
With that, I spoke with Kelly. We have a canine line item that's already there. We did not fund it, obviously, this year. This was kind of, we obviously weren't aware of this program. However, we do have in our equipment money to move into that line item to feed the dog for the rest of the year, and then we'll work. We've already started working on the budget for next year. We will work on that part of the budget and have it re-implemented again. Coming up, we very well might have to move funds into that, which will take a.
Additional appropriation.
Thank you. It'll take that, and we'll get that. But it shouldn't be. I think I'd estimate about $2,000 would get us through the year, which shouldn't be a. We do have. Yeah, I think that's it. I don't think I have anything else unless you guys have any questions for me.
No.
All
No,
right, very
thank
much.
you.
Appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
Fire, Mr. Messersmith. For you who don't know, this is Travis Messersmith, Fire Department.
My neighbor.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Like he said, I'm Travis Messersmith, captain with the fire department. Chief Jump had a prior obligation tonight, so you get me. So far for the year, we've had 219 calls for service, averaging just over one a day. Between the months of April and May, we've averaged about 2 a day. We've noticed a slight uptick a little bit in responding to the interstate with Matthews and Upland. Not a lot, but obviously right around the State Road 26 exit, that's a 3-department response. So we've been going out there a little more here recently. Firefighter Alex Green last week completed his Fire 1 and 2 class work. He successfully passed and is through. So we'd like to thank him for his time and commitment. For anyone that doesn't know, this class starts in January, and they meet 2 days a week and most weekends through pretty much the beginning of May to get all their classes in.
Yeah, that training's no joke.
No.
Shoot.
Wow.
The new truck, our new pump is still on schedule right now. We've not heard any differently from the manufacturer. Right now, they're quoting the chassis to be done by the end of June, at which time it will go to the bodybuilder. From our experience, what we can tell is the body's kind of getting built while the chassis is getting built. So hopefully everything kind of gets married together pretty quick. As far as I know, we're still on for the end of September, tentatively, for a delivery date on that truck. I think there probably could be a little bit of fluctuation there just to lead times, but that's kind of what we're looking at right now. 2 Sundays ago, we had our annual oil change on the trucks. Everything went all right. We didn't have any issues as far as that goes. I do want to kind of commend the guys for the money that they saved the town. Yesterday, we were responding out to the interstate. We experienced mechanical failure on the rescue truck, which deemed us dead in the water. Within about 15 minutes, the truck was fixed. The guys had it back here at the station. We had it fixed and back on the road. So, I mean, obviously, they're working tirelessly to keep the trucks and everything together. Well, this was no cost, so normally, little to no cost. So. The truck 4 radio has been installed. As soon as we receive the payments through the gov deals for our old radios, we're going to get that bill paid for that truck. All of our self-contained breathing apparatus passed flow test for the year, so they're good for another a year. And finally, all of our rescue tools have also went through service, and they all passed inspection as well.
Okay.
So that's all I've got.
Great.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, Travis.
Thanks.
Anything under building and maintenance, Kelly?
No.
All right. Financial report and clerk treasurer
wait.
report.
Wait, Bud.
Oh, hey, bud.
Let's get ready for
Sorry about that, bud.
It was swimming. Bud Shelton, Water and Sewer. Right now, we're still continuing on the lead service line identification, and this Thursday, we will open bids for our project to see who's in contention for that. So that's kind of exciting. That'll be Thursday at 1 p.m. right here. So if you're interested in that and seeing who gets what place, come on in. Love to have you. If you'll indulge me for a little bit, I just want to say that I hired in 99 and heard stories of what the guys had done before me through Steve Deal and Denny Mahoney. And they have, since probably 20 years before I came here, they took care of our water infrastructure. And our water infrastructure is in good shape today. And it is vital to have good infrastructure in the ground. And that's by the hand of this board. That's by the history of this board. That's by people before you and also you. We worked on water and ductile iron for until probably around 16. We might have put our last one in 17 or 18. And we haven't put one in since because in 07 or somewhere around there, we started a long-term control plan. And the long-term control plan was almost mandated by IDEM, but not. The town of Fairmount agreed that our system was not sufficient to entertain new businesses of any kind. That being said, there are a lot of small towns today that are being put on sewer bans. So it really doesn't matter what kind of water infrastructure you have. You can be put on a sewer ban just because of your sewage system and your sewage pipes are in a position that IDEM says it's not adequate. All right. Steve and me and Denny and the guys now have worked tirelessly on this project that we're doing now. We worked long and hard on a sewage plant, the separation on Adams Street, and now we're doing a large trunk line that will handle any type of stormwater I believe that we'll get. Now there'll be extreme circumstances where we still have sewer overflows. And the reason I want to bring that up is we talk about doing Main Street projects, and you guys have still done that. You've still maintained
a certain amount of integrity to the town in places it has to have it. You haven't rebuilt anybody else's private property, and I'm thankful for that as a taxpayer, as a employee. It's not gone that way. We wait for people to do business here in Fairmount, so I'm thankful that we have taken care of our sewer system and an infrastructure that's getting ready to go in. A lot of times, winning the game is waiting for the right time to invest. This is a large investment. I'm not sure that some other investments might not eat you up in the short term, right? With this compounded, I mean, with the sewer infrastructure being a lofty goal, and then also taking on whatever you're looking for in the future. So I commend the board for having the insight and recognizing that infrastructure is a key part for investors to look at and to invest in. So that being said, I'll be quiet now. Just want you guys to know that I appreciate what you do. It's hard to stand up there and have your name on those placards and be ridiculed or praised. It's hard to take praise sometimes. It's hard to be ridiculed. And I, for one, appreciate what you guys do.
Thank
you,
you.
bud. Appreciate
Appreciate that, bud. We appreciate you guys too.
Yeah, you and your crew do an amazing job in town, keeping the water flowing, and the nasty stuff going away. Is it okay if I go to building and maintenance now? Yell at me?
Yes.
All right.
There is
Nothing, right?
We still don't
Okay,
have
we
anything
still have
for
nothing
building
on that.
maintenance.
So now we're gonna go to financial report and clerk treasurer if the board is okay.
So basically for all intents and purposes, the 2023 to 2024 State Board of Accounts audit is complete. They are finishing off their reports review process. We are slated for May 19th at 10 a.m. for the exit conference. You all will be receiving an invitation from State Board of Accounts to attend that. You don't have to. If you can make it, by all means,
What time was
10 a.m.
10 o'clock on the 19th?
Yeah,
19th is gonna be a busy day.
it is.
What else was the 19th?
Buds, the bids.
Said Amy.
Oh, the bids, yeah.
No,
That's
it's
it.
not.
Go
It's
for
the-
me.
It's the 15th.
I could have swore he just said the 19th.
What is the?
Yeah, I go 19th.
It's
Is the
15th.
Is the 15th the opening of the bids?
Yes, sir.
Oh,
I could have swore you said the 19th.
It's Thursday, the 15th. It's
Okay.
Thursday, the 15th.
Okay,
Yes.
yep,
what time?
1
1
o'clock.
o'clock.
That is all I have.
That's all you got?
Thank you.
Karen, do you have anything from APC, Area Plan Commission?
Well, we have a new code enforcement officer. Not sure what happened the other one for sure, but I just know we hired a new one, and her name, Brandy York. So if you need to get all the code, Brandy York. So if you need to talk to the code enforcement office, that's who, and they start Monday.
Yeah, I called the old one to talk to him about some things and learned real quick that he doesn't longer employ them.
Yeah.
And boy, did he have a lot
I
to
was like,
say.
"We're hiring
And I'm like,
a
no.
I said, we're hiring a new one. Oh, boy, I'm tired of hiring more.
4 in a year.
Every time I go, we
Yeah.
hire somebody else. But that's pretty much just everyday monthly business.
Reach. All right, we don't have any committees out, so,
Actually, I do have something for the committee report.
we got insurance.
For the insurance, we are approaching the time very quickly. I am going to get a couple of extra quotes this year, I do believe. So I want to get that stuff sent out at least by June 1st. I will let you guys know as soon as they go out.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so we're gonna move to comments from citizens. If you would come up, state your name and your address. We'll start with Mr. Joshua Miller.
My name's Josh, and I live on Penn Street. So I had a couple things. I was talking to some guys. Billy Smith wanted me to mention a while back. He had mentioned something about his drains. He didn't tell me exactly what it was.
Who?
Billy Smith.
Yeah, an address or location?
No, he didn't. He didn't give me nothing.
Okay.
And then, so I was looking, you guys did end up answering a lot of my stuff. So I am, and I will fully accept, I was one of the ones with chickens in the yard. Been there 4 years, no complaints. And probably will be until my time is up. And so, with that said, my reasoning for that was one, before we moved back to Fairmount, I had gotten a hold of Grant County because I wasn't thinking Fairmount had anything. And so they had said within Grant County for town limits, they usually allow so many per household, this, that, and the other. So 4 years ago, I was like, cool, that's what we're doing. I was bringing them back from Tennessee. That's what we was doing. A lot of people, have their opinions on why they don't want them, this, that, and the other. I do know a lot of people in town that have way more than chickens, way worse than chickens. The fact that nobody's complained about it, I really don't see the issue.
Like what? Like what?
What do they
what's
have?
worse than chicken? What do you have?
Yeah, what's worse?
So out there in town, so you have people that breed ducks, you have people that breed snakes in their garages, you got people that have like one house has little lamb. I'm not putting out names. That's not my business. But what I am saying is the reason we decided to keep our chickens was because when I came back to Fairmount, I wanted to be back. I wanted to be a part of the community that I left when I joined the service. And so I've always been attached to, I'm not going to say the older people, but the older generations. I was real close to my grandparents and all that. And so I have, just on my street alone, I have 7 disabled people that can't leave the house to get groceries themselves. I have a bunch of elderly all throughout Fairmount. I give out dozens and dozens and dozens of eggs weekly. I know Eric and I was talking, and he said, yeah, price of eggs have dropped. I mean, that's easy to say when you can afford it. There's a lot of people that don't make very much because they're on Social Security. And so every little bit helps. And so what I'd like to say on that is there is currently an ordinance in Fairmount, just found out a few days ago, that does prohibit livestock and all that, which I agree with wholeheartedly. But the poultry. So I've went to everybody that I've given eggs to the last 4 years. They're heartbroken. They want this and that. Me personally, I don't care about the chickens. I got them to really teach my kids responsibility, give them something to do. It worked out great. Keep it clean. I've never tried to hide them. My yard's not even fenced in. They are fenced in. They stay enclosed. Me personally, I don't see the issue. Talk to others, don't see the issue. So what I'm asking for is a limitation on poultry in town. So that way we can, me personally, I can't speak for everybody because I don't make a dime off of it. All my money, whether it's from the VA or my work, all goes into providing something for people. And so I'm asking for the ordinance to be changed or altered to maybe something like, let's just say 10 hens per household, and they have to stay enclosed at all times. There's no free range, nothing. I mean, if we sit up here and we talk about community and how we're this close knit, but it goes past the eggs. What do we do as a community that's not 4 days a weekend or 4 days a year, 4th of July and stuff like that? When do we really get out and help the neighbor or help the person next to us or down the road? When do we ask? Nobody asks for help hardly anymore except the elderly. So we keep James Dean around. Yeah, I mean, James Dean is a big thing from the 50s, but if we go back further on Fairmount's history, it was a crop share. That's what made Fairmount. It wasn't James Dean. It wasn't the 4th of July celebration. That was just an era. It was a crop share town that eventually grew into a gas town for natural gas, which then eventually faded away. And I would like to get back to the crop sharing era of being able to help your neighbor to, whether it's eggs or crops or whatever the case is. I think that's what community is. I don't think it's the little fairs we have downtown or anything like that. I think it's helping each other in the time of need. And I think allowing the poultry, for instance, get a community garden started, something that would help Fairmount push past when food fluctuates throughout the country. Fairmount can be self-sufficient because they have a small knitted community, which the last census I looked at was 2024. It was 2575. So you got 2,500 people that could go together on empty lots that are all over the place, that could put a garden down, help each other. You don't have to sell it. You just trade it. It's something that's simple. It means something to most. And like I said, just my block alone, I have a lot of elderly, and my eggs have left Fairmount. I went, Gas City, Jonesboro, Summitville. People at work don't ask for a dime because I know somebody is getting something to eat at the end of the day. And that's really all I'm asking from you guys is don't think about. I understand a majority rules, and that's how politics has always worked. I get it. But I think community is way more important than politics. And yeah, this person may not, 4 years, never smelled nothing. And obviously nobody else has either because nobody's complained.
Well, you don't know if they did or not. I mean, they could have and just never said anything. So you don't know if they.
And
we
that's
can't
true.
make that assumption.
Okay, so we won't go off that assumption. We'll go off of there's no crime in it. There's nothing is getting hurt by allowing somebody to have chickens in their backyard, whether it's to let the kids play, have eggs. It's not like we're putting them out in the front yard and slaughtering them.
No, nobody's accused you of that. But you got to look back in May of 1978, a board similar to ourselves said somewhere, wherever it was, and they passed an ordinance, no livestock in town. And there was a reason for it. I was 8 years old. I have no idea.
Right.
So I don't know.
So where do we see it today? That it still stands?
That from May of 1978 until May 12th, 2025, no board before us has ever changed it. There was a reason why it was changed.
Has it ever been brought?
Yes, it has.
Yes.
It's been several times. And there's a reason why there's a difference between country living and city living. City folk don't want to mess with livestock and farming and all that mess, and the country do. And I commend them because we need those people. I'm gonna be honest. I told you plain and simple. If you come knocking on my door as a council person, I'm not on the council and ask me, I would tell you no. I don't want them because you may do it responsibly. What about the next 5 or 6 people that don't? And now the community smells like chickens all the time, and our police department have now become chicken coop police. I don't want that.
And we can't allow one, and we get
Right.
like
If we
plenty
said,
others.
yeah,
And
exactly.
then we
Stop,
gotta
yeah.
stop that. So, your neighbors probably might not have a problem, but what if another?
Right.
You gotta deal with
One
all that.
area of
It's
the
either
town,
gotta
they
be
do run
yay or
loose.
nay.
Yeah.
It can't be
Mhm.
partly. A few here and a few there. And if we allow chickens, then what else is people going to want in? I mean, we get this is farm animals.
Yeah, I've never.
I mean, it really goes back to that's a what if game that could really play along every ordinance, every law.
Exactly, and that as a board, that's what we have to look at as a whole, not just one situation, one type of situation. And we're all thinking, we're not making this or the other, but we're all listening and paying attention. But we got to look at the broad picture as well.
As far as the snakes, ducks, and lambs in town, I drive dang near every street multiple times through the week on my golf cart stuff through the summer. I've never seen any ducks and lambs. And if somebody has snakes and they're raising them inside their house, that doesn't fall under the livestock.
No.
They can do what they want in there.
I was told by the person that had the ducks, they no longer have them.
Oh, that's funny.
I know one person that had them because I confronted them, was actually, and they don't have them anymore. I know one person that doesn't
Right.
because I confronted her.
You said it was
And,
1978.
if somebody calls in and complains about ducks or lambs, our police department's going to go investigate it. Same way as what happened to you. Somebody called in and complained. They called in, they talked to me. I take full responsibility for it, and I contacted Chief Dollar, and he went and handled it. I mean, that's why we have the ordinance on the books. I mean, if we would say tonight, okay, we're going to consider chickens, well, now where do we stop?
I know.
That was my point.
So
we let one that let's try this. I want a goat for goat milk. I mean, where do we stop?
Yeah, I mean, we get or beef. I mean, this is, and it was even brought up that we have horses in town. Well, that was there prior to 1978.
Yeah,
That was
and they were
grandfathered
grandfathered
in.
in.
That was
Yeah.
grandfathered in.
At that point, I think
I
the
was
property
there.
may have been half in the town and
think
half
that-
in the county, if I
Mhm.
I
remember
think
right.
so at that point.
It's all in now.
Mhm.
So we appreciate you coming forward, talking to us and everything. And I mean, at this point, I mean, I'm not, we can just table it now. And
Mhm.
if we have, like you said, the majority rules, I mean, if we're going to have a meeting where this side's going to be pro chicken and this side's going to be non-chicken, I mean, that's all we can do. I mean, go ahead, Don.
Well, when that ordinance was brought up, one of them was on the town board that had chickens. He was very upset when they voted it down. But, I mean, he had to go along with the rules because right down there on Second Street, that's where it was,
Mhm.
they had chickens and most people didn't even know he had any. But he was on the board and he brought up about the chickens and that's when they voted it down so they couldn't have any chickens.
So a board member had chickens
Yes,
and voted it out and voted the chickens out. Okay.
he wasn't very happy about it, so we want to keep them.
Yeah.
He knew where it was right.
Anything else? John?
Nope, that's it.
All right.
I
Thank
do.
you very much.
I want to say something to
Josh?
you. Josh, can you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to say something. Are you, I just want to ask you, are you campaigning? You went to 120
Right now?
houses. You said that you went
No,
to
I'm
100.
not campaigning
So why are you going to 120 houses?
because it's not against the law.
And why are you asking those people about me?
So one, I've never asked anybody about you.
Okay. Enough
I
said.
I,
Enough
I have
said.
asked
You're on,
Eric.
you're on live
No.
and you're on your audio.
I can show you in black and white, buddy, where you typed it. You were going door to door, asking about Angie Armstrong,
No,
finding
no.
out because on Monday it was 60, on Wednesday it was 180, and nobody
I'm
likes
sorry, I
her.
was a little bit off.
So what was happening is I did announce that I am going to run for town council in 2026, 100%. And that's honestly the only reason you found out I had chickens in the first place.
No, I didn't even know where you lived until 3 days.
No, we didn't.
So
Eric told me.
So when Eric and I was talking, I said, so this is what I'm hearing. I don't go off of what people say until it's a large crowd. And he said, I don't want to get into it. I don't know. And I said, okay, so this is what I'm hearing. I want to know, is it true or not?
What are you hearing?
What are you hearing?
What are you hearing about me going to 180 houses and asking?
No,
about
this
me?
isn't just from 180 houses, Angie. It is not just from the people I talk to when I walk the streets.
Well, I'm going to tell you, wherever you're getting your information, that person is telling you the wrong information.
Which is why I didn't say anything. I was having a conversation with Eric.
But those people told me that you went to
What people?
You lied.
What people?
You lied. You said that one individual was only one person that said that they liked me out of that 100 and some. And that person was at his lake house.
So I didn't say that only one person out of the 100 and some people liked you.
Yeah.
I said,
All
I
right,
said-
listen, hey,
Well, I'm just saying,
Angie,
please, you're not doing anything right for the community
hey, Angie,
for doing that.
this-
Okay.
This is
Enough
this is town
said.
business. Thank you.
Enough said.
Thanks, Joshua.
Thank you.
Wanda Smith.
Smithly, please.
Oh,
Oh,
yep, it does say Smithley.
It
My
does say
mistake.
Smithley.
Your name and address, ma'am?
712 Henley Avenue, Fairmount.
Okay.
According to my calculations, I'm a block and a half from the county line. Okay.
Okay.
I came here today not to cause any problems, but to ask you if this ordinance could be changed just like he did, because I have 12 chickens at my house. That's the most I've ever had. I got them because I have a large family of 26 kids, grandkids, great-grandkids, and great-great-grandkids that I distributed those eggs to. When I have extra, there is a sign in my yard that people can come and get eggs. That doesn't happen very often. I get a lot more knocks on my door than what I'm able to give that to. I'm not making anything off this, didn't intend to. The only thing I use, if I get $3 for a dozen eggs, I use that money to buy the feed and the bedding for the chickens, and that's it. They are enclosed. They do not get out and run around. I have no roosters because I knew that I was in the city limits and I didn't want to disturb my neighbors. This is a petition that I did go around. I said nothing about anybody, but I asked them, and I put at the top here that it was a petition just for my immediate neighborhood who knew that I had the eggs, or the chickens, I'm sorry, and had eggs, if they would sign this petition if they didn't have any issues with that. And there are 42 signatures on here. I don't know if this is going to mean anything to you guys after sitting here and listening to what all you had to say, but I know for a fact that from time to time, very close in my neighborhood, there is a home that has up to 14 to 17 dogs in that home. Nobody has complained about that to my knowledge, and nobody has done anything about that. I don't really care. They don't bother me. They have a huge fence up all the way around, and that's fine. I don't care. All I care about is being able to make it a little easier on myself, my kids, and my friends who want the eggs.
Can I ask you something?
Sure.
Do you have a license? Do you have a license
A
to sell
license?
those? You have to have a license to sell food.
No, I didn't know that.
Yes.
And I don't charge them.
If you charge them, you have to have a license.
Okay, I understand that now.
And you
But
could go online to do that, but it's going to be relevant because we're not going to pass that ordinance
Yeah.
right at this time.
Yeah.
But if it does, or whenever, if it does, whatever, but you have to have a license to sell food.
Yeah.
When you're selling it.
Okay. Well, I wasn't aware of that. I did find out in the last few days that Indiana passed a law that said you can raise chickens in your backyard.
That's the way an ordinance works. You can pass a law, okay? And the town can pass an ordinance
Okay.
of the same thing.
Uh-huh.
We'll use speeding, for example, okay?
Right.
We'll use chickens, for example. So the state says, yes, you can have chickens, you can raise them in your backyard, and there's probably 2 pages of stipulations, what you can and can't do, or how you do it and everything, when the state gets involved. A town ordinance can be the same thing. We can't go more lenient than the law, but we can go more stricter than the law.
I see.
And that's probably what's happened in 78. If there was one on the books for the state then, I don't know.
Now, I don't know about all these other animals, but
Yeah.
that he spoke of, but it seems to me that if you can have dogs and you can have multiple dogs and multiple cats and you can have horses within the city limit, I see no issue, or there should be no issue if your choice are chickens.
Yeah.
Is there a limit on how many dogs you can?
Well, I was just going to address that. And that's an ordinance that would fall under area plan handling that on the dogs. And I can't remember, what is it, 5? It's 5. You can have up to 5 dogs. After that, it's considered a kennel. And there's certain ordinances that the town handles, and we fall under area plan. They come in and handle like a lot of our stuff too. So that would be an area plan.
I'm writing it down on the phone.
Yeah. Karen's our representative for that.
And I have a huge garden in my backyard. And there are lots of times when I put out food, tomatoes, cucumbers, pickles, peppers, whatever, that I have an abundance of that I cannot use or can fast enough. And I put those out there, and people, I give a lot of it away. I do.
I've seen your stand up there with vegetables. Yeah.
So,
I mean, I'll applaud you and Mr. Miller both for being self-sufficient and trying to help others. That's what community's about, is to help others. But unfortunately, when it comes to the ordinance, I agree with what everybody else has said. because, you know, granted, you got a petition, you did the legwork, great job, Ms. Smithley. Not very many people will do that. But unfortunately, with the amount of signatures compared to the amount of people that we have in town, it's only 18% of the town is okay with the chickens. And I mean, unfortunately, with that, we would have to actually, you would need to inquire the whole town and say, hey, look, I have 51% of the town that's okay with it, or I have 75%. Because granted, your end of town, great, you have chickens, but I can tell you on my end of town, if somebody had chickens, oh, it's Katie bar the door. You know, it's just a bad situation.
I've
You
seen
know,
a chicken stand right on Washington
Yeah,
Street.
and I agree with you. I've seen things, and a lot of times I shake my head because it's easier to do it and ask for forgiveness later than not. You know what I mean? Like the age-old saying. And I applaud you for trying to help others. You know, that's what we need more of in this world. But unfortunately, I don't think that eggs are going to be the answer.
Well, you know, could be, but you know, there's another issue here about my rights versus your rights. You may not want chickens, but I do. So why does your choice outweigh mine?
That's just the same thing as you can say about anything. Freedom
That's
of speech,
true.
you know what I mean?
Right.
Freedom of speech is the same thing. I could say, I don't care for little pink houses. And John Cougar Mellencamp could come along and say he likes little pink houses. It doesn't necessarily, we're allowed to have that. That's what makes us a great country, is that we are founded and we were allowed to have the matter of opinions of what makes it great
Except
for us.
that your choices overrule mine.
Only when I'm
No.
sitting in this chair.
We didn't
We
didn't pass this
We didn't
ordinance.
pass
But
this.
This
you know,
ordinance was on the books before he was even born.
I was
Well,
born in
that doesn't mean that
1981.
the ordinance.
So-
We had over 4,000 people.
Right. This, yeah, we used to be
Exactly.
5,000 population here at one
Yeah.
point.
5,000.
And
Yes.
one thing about horses, a lot of people don't realize, is a horse is considered, a miniature horse is a service animal.
Well, I don't see any miniature horses out
That
You
was,
there.
know,
and
so-
those were before the
Well,
ordinance was
Yeah.
even
the
The
done.
horses were here when
Before
it was
the
in the
ordinance.
county. They
It
were
was-
grandfathered in because the city took over they annexed the city, I do believe,
Yeah, it was like, that was still part of the county.
when they had horses. So they
When they
were
had
grandfathered
those.
in.
And nobody had chickens back then that were
No.
part of this.
I
deal?
wasn't born. I can't even
Dawn-
tell you what
Dawn
day of the
can
weeks were.
You didn't have to have chickens because they had a great big chicken place here that sold them.
Mhm.
I mean, it was a mammoth place, brown chicken hatchery. And they sold
Mhm.
chickens. Nobody had any chickens around here. They'd be out in the country.
Okay.
And you are right. You have
Because
you have
you
rights,
had a place
Yeah.
to raise them.
and but there's with exercising those rights, you have to operate within laws and you have to operate within ordinances of the town. I mean, that's part of doing your rights. I mean, and if you, I mean, I'll be honest with you, the way this process works, if you choose not to, I'm not sure, was she given 20 days? Like Mr. Miller, I'm not sure.
Jeremy's working out, I believe so.
Okay, so whatever time frame you was given, you may decide to snub your nose at us and say, I ain't getting rid of them. Well, then it goes to the court process, and then you're gonna have to go to court.
Mhm.
And then a judge is gonna tell you, yes, you have to get rid of them because you're violating 5-1978, the ordinance for the town. You can't have livestock in town, AKA chickens.
Mhm.
And then if you still choose to thumb your nose at it, he can hold you in contempt of court and throw you in jail over a chicken.
Wow.
And you know, I know.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
just
just
explaining to you how it's gonna work.
We're just,
I'm happy that that the people that came and got my eggs liked them.
Yeah.
You know?
Good.
And some of them are here today to speak up for me because they're very upset that they can't come to my house and get eggs. But, you know, I'm not gonna go to jail. for
Yeah,
eggs.
I'm just
Well,
saying,
well, no, I'm
I was just
saying.
explaining the process to you.
Well, and I'm
Yeah.
just saying too, when we move or check with the town and see if there's an ordinance on it. If there isn't, then you're fine. But I don't remember this. I was a kid
Yeah.
when that was passed.
Mhm.
So I mean, I didn't remember it until we got in a discussion about it, and I pulled it up and printed it off.
Well, we
So,
looked it up.
You know, we need to
Yeah.
ask. You know, we need to ask the town and where we live what
Right.
we
Yeah.
can and can't.
It was brought up when I was first running because I went to door, and one lady said, "Please pass this, please." And what did I do, Steve? I mentioned it, and I did my duty. I promised her I would mention it, and that's when we found out it was back from 1978. And I was, once again, I was 8 years old. I didn't know.
Can I
So
ask,
that was brought up a long time ago.
can I ask you the age-old question?
What's that?
Which came first?
Steve.
Oh my God.
They told
Steve.
me the chicken. So
Lord.
that's all I can tell you.
Yeah.
All right.
And I will,
Gotta
and I
get
will
that
tell
out
you
there.
this, it's just not Fairmount. Because right now, the only town that allows it is Sweetser. And they have,
Right.
like 3 people that have chickens over there. Because I was just with a lot of those people in that meeting that I spoke of earlier. And they have 3 people.
Well, you know,
I feel for you. I get it. But we didn't do
We
it.
totally understand.
I've never
all
eaten
right.
Thank you for coming, Ms.
Thank
Smith.
you.
That's all right. Yes,
Sorry for
thank
calling you Mrs. Smith. I'm sorry about that. All right.
Chicken camp.
Anything under new business?
Oh, that's true.
No.
I don't think they're gonna buy that.
Anybody got anything under new business?
No.
We got the packet. I guess that's under old, but on the green space,
Oh, yeah.
in your emails is the grant stuff. So just take a look at that when you get your time. Anything under old business?
I want to say that I went to the opening day for the youth league, and it was a really good turnout, very great turnout, and just wanted to say thank you for all the people that was involved, and it was nice to see people out there with their kids and grandkids and so on. So just want to thank everybody in the park and Scotty and Ryan for getting it dialed in also on top of the trying to get the youth league, and Steve.
All right. Thank you, Angie.
Thank you.
Steve, you have anything? Youth league, Main Street?
You know, I think it's so hard to put into summarizing words. We did a couple of weeks, or back in March, we talked about the youth league and asking them to complete the list for us that, you know, they needed to do before opening day. And, you know, they did at least 90 to 95% of it before their opening day. And we as a board made the decision that we're going to go ahead and let that opening day occur and let them play. So what I'm saying is, and what I'm asking is for the community, for those that, you know, are so inclined, step up and help. That board needs all the help it can get as far as volunteers and doing some things. And I think they would be more appreciative. You know, so many people are quick to be a keyboard warrior and say so much online about, you know, either myself, Eric, Angie, Karen, Ken, anybody. And all it takes is just a step up. You know, serve your communities, help your communities, because we're only as good as you are if you don't tell us what you feel. We are very open to listening. We have no issues sitting here and debating and talking about anything. And we are, you know, we're just like you. We're residents of Fairmount too. There's things that's been passed at this board that I disagree with, but there's also been things that I do agree with. And I ask you know, our residents, step up and help one another. Continue being that community. Help the Main Street organization. They're always looking for new members. You know, step in and help the youth sports leagues in the community. They're looking for coaches. They're looking for volunteers. I'm sure they would love to have it.
Umpires.
You know, right now, yeah, they desperately need umpires. All it takes is just to make that difference and to help out, because one person can change this entire town and make this town from good to great. Because right now, we're a good town, but we need to be great again. And if we're not going to be that great town again, if we're just hiding behind a keyboard, come and talk to us. That's all we ask.
Yeah, come and talk to us. Don't put it out on social media. If you have questions, you know, people know who's on the board by now. Don't do it on social media.
That's a good topic.
Right.
Since you said that, I can spin right off of that because we did switch tonight to a YouTube channel. So we will no longer be streaming live on Facebook. So we have our own YouTube channel, and there is no comments on that. So if you're thinking you can't find it, you thinking we turned them off, no, there's just, you can't comment on it. So if there is an issue, please come to the meeting. Second Monday and fourth Monday every month at 6 o'clock right here. You're more than welcome to entertain anything you have to say.
When will the YouTube video will be
It's going
available?
right now.
It's on, going on?
Yeah.
Oh,
And it's
okay.
archived, so you can go in there and watch it whenever.
And then we can share it.
And if
Okay.
you want to speak to us, call
Speak-
the clerk's
yeah.
office by, on
Noon on
Friday.
Friday.
By noon on Friday and say, hey, I want to get on your agenda. Come and talk.
Yes.
Let's have a conversation.
Or if you have a question.
In our email address.
Emails.
Yeah,
Yeah,
our emails
email
are
address.
posted on
Email
our
us.
Yeah,
website.
everything's on our
happy.
website.
More than happy to
Everything.
talk to anyone.
Morgan has
Absolutely.
worked her butt off on getting the website and the town page to where it was.
It's a joint effort.
It's a, yeah, oh, I'm sorry. Morgan, Amy, Kelly, sorry.
And
But
nobody-
Morgan's always the go-to.
Nobody that knows me knows I'll talk to anyone. I don't know a stranger.
What's that?
Is the next meeting on a
Well,
Tuesday?
that's the next thing I was going to bring up.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
Memorial Day.
Thank you.
Memorial Day is on the 26th, which is our next regular meeting. So the second meeting in May will be on the 27th at 6 o'clock.
Mhm.
All right. Anybody else
Motion to
anything?
adjourn the meeting.
Second.
All right. Stick around for a minute because Kelly has something for
I
us.
do. I have some information about the audit for you.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, everybody, for coming. We appreciate
Don't
it.
forget the Tesla if you guys want to check it out.
Yeah, I recommend you do. It's a
I want to
very
go for a
neat car.
ride.
I do too. I'm gonna go.
Ken said that when he come over.